All right, I'm remaking the video because I started rambling and I want to stay on the topic of mileage. So this is going to be my week 3 mileage video. I did 3,500 paid miles as far as the paycheck goes. Excuse me. It's the actual paid miles that I did on week 3 was about a little over 2,700, but I had an 800-mile trip from week 2 roll over into week 3 because they wouldn't let me deliver it. They made me wait until Sunday morning to deliver it. I was at the delivery location Friday, but I had to set on that load until Sunday morning. I did home time, and then I delivered the load on Sunday morning. But I actually did all the miles for that load on week 2. I just made the delivery on week 3, and that was where I got paid on. So the way the weeks have gone, excluding my first partial week, starting with my first full week, I did 3,400 paid miles my first full week. Now remember, these are short miles. USA Truck pays household good miles, zip code to zip code, shortest distance. Not necessarily, the route that you have to take in a truck, and it's zip code to zip code. So you're losing out on, in my estimation, approximately 10% of your miles. So if you do 3,400 miles, you probably did 3,740 miles. If you got paid 3,400. So week 1, I was paid 3,400 miles. Week 2, I was paid 1,700 miles, and week 3, I was paid 3,500 miles. The actual miles that I did, paid miles that I did in the weeks, if you move that 800-mile trip over to week 2, is 3,400 miles week 1, 2,500 week 2, and then 2,700 week 3. So 34, 25, 27. Those are the miles that I've been running. And I've had a lot of downtime. Like right now, I've been waiting on a load for a couple of hours. It is Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. and I still do not have a load. So just a second. I'm in Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. I don't really see any places to park. And it looks like that Swift truck made it back. So this Swift truck that's coming back towards us right now, I think they have a delivery here at this location, and they made a left turn and went down that road, and now they're back. There was another Swift truck about, 2 minutes after this truck that was set up to make a left turn and go down the same place. And then at the last second, they realized that the location they were supposed to go to was right here, and they made a right-hand turn from the left-hand turn lane and turned into here. So I think Swift has the bad directions on their GPS for this place, and it's directing their drivers to go up that road somewhere. But it looks like Swift got turned around and figured out where they were supposed to be, and now they're back in the right place. I hope they didn't damage anything turning around wherever in the hell they went. That's where a lot of accidents happen, is whenever you get down the wrong road and you have to figure out a way to get turned around in a place where trucks probably aren't supposed to be. But anyway, there isn't really any place to park in this town. I haven't really seen, like, that local delivery truck that just delivered to McDonald's, I think there's a grocery store back there. I think maybe that thing just delivered to a grocery store. I don't see any kind of truck stops or truck parking in this town, so I am loitering at the receiver. I'm empty right now, and I am I am not leaving here until I get a load because I have no idea which direction to go, and there's not a truck stop near here. If there was a truck stop like 5 miles away, then I might drive to that truck stop, but there's not a truck stop 5 miles away. I don't know how far the nearest truck stop is. I would guess it's at least 20 or more miles from where I'm at. But before I start rambling too much, I have had a lot of downtime and time between loads every week. I could run more miles than what I've been running. I know that a lot of people are going to sit there and say that, 3,400 miles in a week, 2,500 and 2,700 running, the weeks that I've run, a lot of people would say those are good weeks. I don't think they're good. I think they're decent. I think the 3,400 mile week was good. I was satisfied with that, but I could have still done a lot more miles than what I did that week. I had a lot of stuff that I was setting around on that, screw ups. Like one of the loads that I was delivering was supposed to be a drop and hook. And I got there and they told me that it was a live unload and that I was late for my appointment and they were going to have to work me in at like midnight, which was, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours from that time. And I had an appointment at Walmart where I had to be there by like 11 p.m. or something. And these people said that they weren't even going to start unloading me until like 11 p.m. or midnight. That was one of the screw ups with my dispatches and stuff on my 3,400 mile week. And I had to sit around for about 2 hours waiting for them to get like in contact with my account manager and stuff like that to get it all figured out. They ended up letting me do a drop and hook, but I sat and wasted probably 2 to 3 hours getting all of that sorted because somebody screwed up and it was in their system as a live unload. But there were a bunch of things like that on that week. I think the main reason I was able to do that many miles that week was because I had a 1,500 mile trip, which is really, really rare at USA Truck. Most of my loads are in the 300 to 400 mile range. It is really hard to do many miles whenever you're doing like 300 and 400 mile trips. It is really, really hard to do a lot of miles because you get here at these shippers and receivers and you waste a lot of time. And getting your next load, you sit around for hours. It's like I'm getting really frustrated right now at how long I'm sitting at this very moment waiting on a load. I should have had a pre-plan yesterday, at least. I'm thinking about going to a dedicated account because my trainer was on the Georgia Pacific dedicated account, and he would be pre-planned for the entire week. So he would have like 3 or 4 loads on him at a time. But the last week that I was on the truck, they were doing to him exactly what they're doing to me, where they weren't giving him a load until after he made his delivery. So maybe this is a new thing with USA Truck where they're not giving, loads. They're not giving pre-plans. I don't know what the deal is. It's really annoying to not have a pre-plan. I'm about to, I've sent 2 messages already trying to get a load today. And I didn't get a response to my last message. Oh man, he managed to get it in there. But all this sitting around is just the short trips and then the setting around, it just kills the miles. It's really hard to get decent miles here at USA Truck. I run my ass off. I should easily be getting over 3,000 miles a week. I would probably be getting close to 4,000 miles a week if I was getting like 1,000+ mile runs and I wasn't sitting around waiting for loads like I am right now. I would be crushing it. But I am barely getting over a 2,500 mile a week average because of like how bad the loads are. Part of it could be the Wuhan virus. Freight is supposedly slowing down. They've sent out fleet-wide messages. Last Monday, they sent out a message when I sat around waiting for like 8-10 hours for a load. My driver manager sent out a message and said freight was slow in some areas. They were having difficulty finding loads in some areas. Well, deadhead me to another area. I know Niagara has loads in Oklahoma City, and I am not very far from Oklahoma City. I'm probably 100 miles, 90, 80 miles from Oklahoma City. They've deadheaded me hundreds of miles. So deadheading me 80 or 90 miles, that's normal. So just give me to Oklahoma City. I'll pick up some bottled water and, get me moving along. Also, I am really close to the Georgia Pacific plant. I was on that Georgia Pacific dedicated account when I was in training for a month. And one of the places we picked up all the time was Muskogee right here. And Fort Gibson is pretty damn close to Muskogee. So I can, go over to Georgia Pacific and grab a load of paper out of there. The only thing that sucks about that is the only place we took anything out of there to was to Hutchins in south of Dallas. So it would be like a 300-mile trip, 250. I think it's around 250 miles. No, I don't even know if it's that far. It's not very far. But it would be a short trip, grabbing a load out of Muskogee at this Georgia Pacific plant and taking it down to Hutchins, Dallas, basically. I don't really want to do that load, but that's an option. There's tons of stuff around here that I can do. Man, there are a lot of trucks pulling in here. No, that guy's going straight. Or is he realizing that he needs... Yeah, he's got his turn signal on now. Yeah, he's pulling in here. AutoZone, I don't think is going to be pulling in here. Yeah, this place is getting a tremendous amount of traffic. But anyway, I'll end the video there. Being a company driver sucks. This is yet another stage of the process. I'm working to become a business owner. I want to become an owner-operator. I want to have my own truck. I want to have my own authority. That's the end goal. I like 2 more steps before I become an owner-operator. The next step is becoming a lease operator with a shitty company like USA Truck. And it's going to be a step up from company driver, but it's still going to suck because USA Truck, the rates on their load board are really bad, and they take a premium percentage. Like, they take a Landstar percentage cut, but they don't have Landstar rates on their loads. Landstar, you'll find $5 a mile loads on Landstar's load board. I mean, they're not common. Like, from what I've seen on Landstar's load board, loads over $3.50 are common. Like $3.50 to $4 loads, you can find those if you're willing to, go to those areas to pull those loads. They're all over the place. The USA Truck, $3.30 a mile loads are the equivalent of like $5 loads on the Landstar load board. $3.30 a mile loads on USA Truck's load board are really rare. The loads that you can find all over the place, if you're willing to go to those areas and pull that stuff, is like $2.30 a mile, $2.50 a mile. So there's a huge disparity between Landstar and USA Truck's rates, but USA Truck takes a 35% cut just like Landstar does, as if they got Landstar rates. So USA Truck is a shit company to lease for, in my opinion. But they will take a lease earlier than Landstar. Landstar, you have to have a year of experience before you can lease on with them, and they're kind of picky. So even if you have a year experience, they may not accept you. You may have to wait a while. And USA Truck will take people earlier. I need to send a text message to Patricia, the driver, whatever, advocate or whatever her title is, and have her get me in touch with Tom at least again, because Tom was supposed to contact me back because he couldn't tell me how long it would be before I could lease, and he never did reach out to me. So I'll contact her again and see if she can get me in touch with him. But I guess I'll do that while I'm waiting around for a load. I'm just, the longer I wait for a load, the more I sit around. I know that there's probably a ton of drivers that are lazy and they're perfectly satisfied with getting an $800 a week paycheck, and sitting around like this right here probably doesn't bother them at all. They're probably having a great time sitting around doing nothing. But me, when I sit around like this, I just get madder and madder. As like every second that passes, I just get a little bit more pissed off. I'm getting really angry right now because like this is not enjoyable for me. But anyway, let me finish the stages. So the next step is leasing with a shitty company like USA Truck. The step after that is leasing with a good company like Landstar, or maybe even Mercer, or like there's quite a few good companies to lease on with. And then the final step is to get my own authority. I don't know when exactly that's going to happen. During these down times, this Wuhan virus thing could last a long time, and I think it's a much safer bet to be leased on with a carrier that has like contract freight like Landstar than to run under your own authority on the spot market. So I'm gonna lease probably as soon as I can, and just you know, I have to play it by ear on what's going to be the best option for me at the time. But I'm still a couple of stages away, so I'm still in the gut check phase. You know, being a company driver is a it's a gut check. I'm not really happy with everything but every time I get really angry, I have to step back and realize and remember that I knew being a company driver would suck. This is just something that I have to do to get to the point that I want to get to, where I'm picking my own loads and I'm actually making money. It's very frustrating to be sitting around like this and I make so little money. I work so ridiculously hard. Like, if you look at my paychecks, I actually make decent money. It's not very good money in my opinion. Some people may consider it to be a lot of money. Like that 3,400 mile week, I had a $1,560 paycheck. That's before, the government takes all theirs. So almost $1,600 week one. Week two was like a $750 paycheck. Week three is going to be, another $1,700 paycheck. That's decent money. That's probably like a $1,300, maybe $1,400 a week average, somewhere around $1,350 a week average. But I'm working my ass off to do that. I'm doing crazy hours to do that. If I were leased on running these same loads, after all expenses, I would probably have like $3,000 bring home checks. It would probably be double, maybe even triple what I'm bringing home right now. That's the reason it is really frustrating to be a company driver, is because I work my ass off and the company makes a lot of money and I get a little bitty piece of the pie, just a tiny piece of the pie. So I still don't have a load, and I'm getting mad. But week 3, 3,500 paid miles. I actually did 2,700 miles this week. So I'll end the video there before I start ranting and raving anymore. Thanks for watching. Bye.